Hi, this is Taya Nicolaitis, your English instructor, and today's video is to walk you through the library orientation that I have posted in our modules. So in this week I updated a PowerPoint and I will walk you through that, and also I can give you some demonstrations in the actual library website. So I just put a little bit of information here so that you can refer to it on your own, but I'd like to take you into the library databases. And I have a link to the library and modules as well. But I recommend that you use databases so that you can pick the type of sources that you get. So once in databases, you'll see that the titles of the databases, the names of databases, hint at the type of information that you'll get. When you're searching in the library, it is not the equivalent of doing like a Google search for something. In here, you have to be more specific with the type of information that you're asking for. If you want to do a Google search on something to get some more specific information, then you can come back to the library to research those articles on those topics. But as I've listed in our PowerPoint, you'll see that I've mentioned some of the general databases like Academic OneFile, Academic Search Complete. Those are general databases, so you get a little bit of everything, which means you get a lot of results on any of the searches that you do. If you scroll down, the one that we'll be doing for our poetry project will be using Biography by Gail. That one gives you more biographical information about your poets and their lives. And then, as you know, you can keep scrolling, checking different topics. There are some that are that are films. You know, that you can look up films. You have some that are specifically for literature, like Gale literature. There are a few others, and in other words, you could just get the idea. You can scroll through them. Then you have also some that'll be helpful for this project, which are history based, like History Salem Press or History Reference. JSTOR is another general database that's very helpful for this particular type of project. Literature, you know, and so you get the idea. You get a little bit of everything. There's one last one I'm trying to find to show you, but it's for those that are using an American poet. You can use U.S. history, and so anyway, you can see as you scroll through, this database is not just for English classes or literature-based classes. These are for pretty much any topic that you'll be doing in any discipline, and just getting familiar with how the library works will be so beneficial for you in the long run. So I'd like to just begin with biography. And when you're faced with your login, make sure that you select your college, Hillsborough Community College. Do your borrower ID as your student ID number, and your password will be the last 4 digits of your student ID number. So once we are logged in, you'll see it gives you option for search at the top. You can scroll through, get some ideas on you know, just some popular people that have been searched for in terms of their biographies or whatnot. So you get the idea. I'm just kind of scrolling through so you can see. But I'll do a basic search on the poet that I used in my, sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. The poet that I used for my sample template, so you get some continuity. So when you look up your poet, you'll see you get some quick facts, their you know, dates of their lives, some other occupations, etc. And if you scroll down, you'll see you get different types of results. You get ones that are biographies, featured content, where if your search, your person's name is featured in any specific things. You get academic journals, so you get the idea. It does give you some variety. Videos, just keep scrolling, things in the news, magazines, etc. So biography is always a good place to start. So you get an idea about what this person did, and also give you an idea about what else you can look into. So after you've read their biography, let's say if you want to pick one of them, here, let's click read more. And okay, this particular article, okay, let's say that this is the perfect article for you. You can email it to yourself, you can download it. Up on the top, a couple of very important features I'd like you to pay attention to is the citation. One thing that you don't have to do for yourself is it generates the work cited for you. And you see that it shows you MLA and APA and Chicago style. So again, depending on what class you're using library database for, you can definitely find the citation for the style that you're meant to write in. So you can click select, and then when you send it to yourself, email, you paste, you can put the full text or citation, whatever you want to put in there. Typically I will, I will paste the citation. I will have to go back and copy and paste it again, and then email it to myself. And I'll always, in the subject line, I'll make a more specific title. I'll put my, the titles, the author's name, and then biography from Gail, something like that, so that I'll remember if I have 5, 6, 10 emails or there are different sources that I've sent myself. The subject line of the email will help me remember what I'm looking at. And again, I would paste the citation. I would send it as a full text, just everything, and then copy and paste the citation in the message. That way I have everything in one place. So next step is to figure out what other types of research I could do. Again, depending on your author, you can just pick up on a couple key things that he or she was active in or time periods in which she lived. So if you can see right here, Maya Angelou lived during the civil rights era. She was an activist. She did a number of other things. So I could use these key terms of events in her life as focal points for my research. So if I go back to the databases, I can go to, this one is American history. I could do American history, the US history database, or I could just do a general database like Academic One File or Academic Search Complete. Either one of those would be great. I'll just click with the first one and see what we can come up with. So if my next search, if I want it to be about civil rights, movement, then notice that this has full text documents clicked, and then I'll click search. So it gave me 2,000 results. Next step would be to narrow my search. 2,000 results, sometimes you get 20,000 results. However many thousand results you get are too many for this particular type of project. We need to narrow our topic down. So how do we do that? You look for the filter your results area. Depending on the type of assignment that you're doing, you may want to narrow the publication date. If you're doing anything in the sciences or technology or education, and APA formatting, you'll have to limit it to the last 5 years. That is not the case for literature-based things. Any date is an option, but maybe we want to limit it by subject. So I will go in here. Maybe I'll click civil rights movement. I'll just click on the first one just as an option. So from 2000, we have 195. And then from here, I mean, I could scroll and click on a couple of titles that may interest me, or I can narrow my search further. And you get the idea. So I just wanted to use this as an example. So it depends on, or maybe I can narrow it by document type. I want articles or essays or whatever. You get the idea. So you continue to narrow your search, and then once you pick an article, you find the citation tool. I'll just pick one in here. Okay. I just picked any random one. Notice also it has a citation tool. I will copy or click select and copy. Control C would copy and copy the link, and then I would send it to myself. So we'll have it full text or as a PDF, depending on what you want, and then the title, and that's it. I would click send, and I will have that in my inbox waiting for me. So first step in doing your research will definitely be to gather all your sources. And most of you are already working on that. Or maybe you're getting started where you're collecting your different sources. So in this collecting articles assignment, I linked the library link in here, the new PowerPoint, but also, so you want to make sure that you find articles from 5 different databases. Why is that? Basically, the idea is for you to avoid just doing one type of research. If you start with biography, you find 5 different biographies, you're not going to get a variety of information. You're going to get the same type of information repeated in different types of sources. So by forcing yourself to think about different ways of researching your poet or the time period or the society or any major events that may happen, then your research will be very varied and give you a bigger spectrum of understanding what was going on at that time, so we can better understand the literature itself. So after you've completed that, then you'll go into complete your annotated bibliography, and this was you have some links in here for you to take a look at. This is a very thorough site that shows you how to write an annotated bibliography. Basically, you are annotating your source for each of the 5 articles that you get. You want to write about it. You want to summarize it. You want to assess it, which is basically, is it a valid source? And the most important part is to reflect on the article. And what I mean by reflect is kind of the notes that I've written in here. After you summarize and annotate, after you have summarized and assessed your article, how can you use this article in your research? Does it work for your research? Maybe it does not. If it does or does not, and why, that's the kind of notes you want to put in the reflection part of your annotation. The more detailed, the better. If it works or doesn't work, include those details. Why? So that when you sit down to do your paper or your project or whatever it is that you're using your research for, you have detailed notes to yourself about whether or not you're going to use the source. For this particular annotation, you're annotating 5 articles. In larger assignments, you may annotate 10 articles. So after 10 articles, they get blurry. They blur together. You don't know which one worked, which one didn't work. And these particular notes in your annotations will be so helpful to you. So make sure that you explain why it works, why it does not work in your annotation. And then just some details in here about how to format it, and that's it. So if you have questions, make sure that you reach out to me, and I hope this video was helpful for you.